Alright, let's test the audio a little bit. Make sure everything looks and sounds okay. Yeah, I think this should be good. Alright, then I will get going in a little bit. If everything looks and sounds okay. Cool, then let's get rid of this timer if I can find out how to do that again. That I believe should get rid of the timer. Okay, and let's have a look at the settings. Just for 1 second so I can see what's going on. Okay, all the sound is on full, I guess. Until further notice, we will just do that. Tutorial on, that seems like a good idea. Yeah, let's not play on hard mode quite yet. Alright, then everything is good. Yeah, so this is Help Will Come Tomorrow. This is, as far as I know, from the, I don't know, 10 minutes or so of a stream of it that I saw over at Many a True Nerd, is a Russian Revolution themed, fairly difficult winter survival game, kind of a narrative game. I don't know the game at all otherwise. Like I said, I've just seen 10 minutes or so of it. I don't know anything else. So I'm just going to try it out for a little bit. I have some stuff to do later in the evening, but I thought a short or kind of, flexible kind of game like this seems very suitable. There's also something a little bit funny about playing a game that's this much cold themed, given that it's the first day here in Berlin where I live where we have hit 30 degrees Celsius. And it's absolutely boiling out here even now. Also because I'm on the top floor of this building where the sun is shining directly more or less into my apartment. It is really very warm. So I have, in that regard, some immersion problems perhaps, but otherwise, yeah, I'm kind of curious what this game is all about. It looks kind of fun, I thought. It was on sale, so I picked it up for, I think, a couple euros or something. It wasn't very expensive at all. I think it came out like last year, so it's also not, super timely by any means. But I also have no ambitions to be, cutting edge here. So yeah, let's just see what's going on, and I guess I will just start with whatever the tutorial is. Okay, the passenger level is the least demanding experience, milder initial conditions, more resources and animals in the taiga. Okay, that's already very promising. Less threat and aggression from renegades, milder weather and events. Then we have an optimally balanced experience, and we have a proper Siberian mode. Well, let's start with the tutorial mode. Put all the characters on random. I don't know about any of this, so sure. Let's just go for it. Alright, so here we are. I think that's just all the introduction that we get. It's basically we're on a train, or we were on a train. It is the October Revolution period. I guess it's just after, probably in the time of the Russian Civil War. And these are our characters that have escaped death, apparently. Can you hear the shots? They're killing other survivors. This is a replay from Znamiensky Square. The Tsar supporters are opening fire to the proletarians. They're talking nonsense. They're just thugs or deserters. Don't talk so loudly because they'll hear us. We've run a long way. I think we can take a rest here and the snow will cover our footprints. Okay, so I guess it's actually before the October Revolution in that case. Do I want to use the manual describing the mechanics of Help Will Come Tomorrow? I'm going to assume that that means the tutorial. Right, okay, so we have basic needs shown in the form of statuses, thirst, and fatigue. This character's thirsty. There is a bit of clean water in your inventory. Give it to the thirsty character. Pick it up. Give it to her. Clearing off. Move on to the character card. Select one of the portraits from the left. Clearing off. Character card is a place where all the most important... It's already very Slavic, you know, they drop all the articles. Is a place where all the most important information about each character is located. The window is divided into 3 tabs. We'll start from discussing the character section. Each character belongs to one of 3: revolutionary or neutral. Okay. Faction affiliation defines the initial attitude of the characters to each other and affects the course of night conversations around the campfire. Traits are unique features, positive or negative. Health determines how many ailments they can endure. Morale is how much conflict they can endure. With high morale, you can regain action points lost in the morning by negative statuses. The morale level can be increased by performing actions corresponding to the character and conducting dialogues in a manner consistent with the beliefs in... Ah, yeah, okay. So you have like a role-playing bonus. Current character statuses are also visible in the character card. In addition to the basic statuses discussed earlier, the game has a number of special statuses, including, among others, diseases, injuries, or mental states of the characters. Some of them may have a time limit on a given number of days. Exceptional statuses may prevent from leaving the camp or block some actions. Action points represent the strength and readiness of the character to act. Hello there, Turner. They are used as a result of taking actions in the camp, such as removing snow, building, creating items, cooking, exploring, or caring for other characters. A fully functional character starts the day with 3 action points. Every 2 negative statuses reduces this number by 1. Okay, all clear. This is where the slots for the character's clothes is located. The quality of its performance reduces the cooling of the character. I see. Next tab is the relationships section. Presents the attitude of the selected character towards other team members, which is trust, friendship, and credit. Okay. Change in the relationships occur during joint work and night talk. Relationships affect the quality of jointly performed actions in the course of dialogues. Trust determines how much one character believes in the good intentions of the other. It increases as characters spend time with each other and learn something about their past. Learn something about their past, okay. Friendship determines how much one character likes the other, that's clear. Wants to spend time with them. Increases when the characters perform actions together and agree during conversation. Credit determines how much one character appreciates the skills and competences of the other. Okay. That's more like how much they value them. It increases when the actions performed by that character bring a positive effect. Okay, so if everyone thinks that you're a fool, this has a sort of negative feedback loop effect. The last tab as part of the character card is my story section. In this section you can learn more about the character. As a result of night conversations, team members get to know each other better, discovering their stories and motivations. Let's move on. Okay. To survive, the characters will also have to take care of their camp. Within the camp you can build 5 structures: a campfire, a shelter, a workshop, quarantine and fence. Before building a new camp structure, or when it is buried as a result of the weather, the action of removing snow must be carried out. Select a zone where the campfire will be built. I guess here? This is the camp structure window. Before we can build and develop the camp structure, we need to clear the area where it is to be erected. To do so, you must perform the action Remove Snowbank. So let's move to its overview. Each action in the game represents the action of the character. Actions include removing snow, building, making items, cooking, expeditions, and taking care of other characters. Each action is charged with a cost in the form of action points, and sometimes also requires some resources. The Remove Snowbank, we will be able to put it in place. If you have a shovel, it goes better. Currently selected action of removing snow is an action for a single character and its cost is 1 action point. But this is a description, yeah, we just saw that. This area presents action requirements related to the resources. Action of removing snow does not involve any resources cost but has space for optional tool. Optional tool is not required to perform action. However, if it is present in the camp after clicking this slot, it is possible to add it to the components of the action. When using optional tool, there is a small chance of regaining the action points during the action. Only a small chance, okay. Erecting new structures increases the overall quality of the entire camp structure. The Slavic English is very adorable. Let's move on to the performance of the selected action. To do this, we must assign a character to perform the task. Action of removing snow is the work for 1 character only. Let's assign one of the characters available on the left. Click the character's portrait or drag and drop it onto the ring. You can also use the arrows under the circle. Due to the fact that we do not have any auxiliary objects, let's proceed to the approval of the action. To do this, click the button at the bottom of the window. Action of removing snow unlocks the possibility of erecting camp structures. Each such structure contains development tree, in which building individual components unlocks new types of action and further improvements. Currently selected component makes it possible to perform the action of building campfire. Currently selected component. What does a component mean here? The selected action can be performed by 1 or 2 characters. If 1 character undertakes construction, it will be 3 action points. With 2 characters, it is 1 each. A relationship between the characters undertaking the actions together have an impact on the quality and success of the performed work. Let's select the pair option. I guess that's this. First assign 1 character and then after the second slot appears, assign the next character. So pick you and then you. Okay, actions of building can be performed in 2 ways, makeshift and solid structure. Makeshift requires but half the components, but the quality is much lower. Credit of the characters observing the work decreases. Solid structure requires all the components, but quality is high. In addition, it increases the credit of the builders by people observing the work performed. Build a solid campfire from the resources obtained at the time of removing snow. To perform the action of building a campfire, resources belonging to 2 resource groups are required: wood and structural elements. To be able to perform the action, the proper amount of resources from a given resource group should be provided, so it's also strength, yeah, okay. You need as much as it requires. Clicking on the resource group slot in the inventory, resource belonging to the given group to fill the group strength will appear. So we need to put 8 wood in. Okay, we have found 8 sticks, each of them are worth 1 wood, so we will put all of them in there. Oh, it automatically does all of them. You don't have to click for each. Now to fill the resource group slot with appropriate resource structural materials with a group strength of 6. Okay, so we have 2 rocks, which are each worth 3, I guess. And now we will build the campfire. Okay, and she is now a team worker. Or she is a team worker already, I guess. This character likes to cooperate. They increase their own and their comrades' morale. This character has a chance to regain some of the ingredients. He's a survivalist. He avoids a negative event during the expedition. That's good. Campfire has been built. The relationship between the working characters have changed. Witnesses, that is, people present in the camp, are satisfied with the solid structure that was built. How nice. Hence their credit towards the builders has increased. Along with building the camp structure, its repair option appears. The structure can be damaged as a result of weather or events. The condition of the entire structure is represented by the quality bar visible in the upper right corner. Okay. You go to the repair action, press the hammer icon next to the quality, or select the repair action from the action list. Now that the campfire has been built, we can light a fire to warm up. Sometimes the fact of burning fire may be one of the costs of the action. I guess in the sense of being detected. So the area for the campfire has been prepared. When removing snow, we found some resources lying in the snow. You can view them in the materials section of the inventory panel. Okay. Use the falling needles in the materials section. Click the resource icon and then drag and drop it here. Characters are warmed up now, but everything has a price. The renegades and dangerous predators moving around the area will be attracted to our camp by its visibility. The visibility of the camp, apart from the campfire level, is influenced by the number of people in the camp and the current weather. To reduce your visibility, you can lower the fire by clicking the minus icon next to the campfire, until then be reduced by 5%. Weather, apart from the impact on the visibility of the camp, affects the condition of the characters, chances of losing the expedition, and camp structures every day. For example, by covering them or damaging them, etc. Camp morale is how consistent, determined, and loyal are the people in the camp. Moving individual character morale and relationships during conversations between them increases camp morale. This has a significant impact on the course of some events. Knowing the basics of the game uses as many action points of the character. I guess as many as I want. You can finish the day phase when you want. Press the button in the upper right corner to move on to the night phase. Alright, so we are here now in the real doing stuff. Stage. Here we have Revolutionary Maria Petrenko, who likes this guy, less him and even less him. She was the maid. Interesting. She's aristocracy, Anna Mikhailova Khilkov. She likes him but not the others. Is a highborn maiden. This is Sir Edward Grey, who is clearly obviously not a British spy. He likes everybody reasonably. He looks like a foreigner. Yeah, okay. And Alexei Rabinovich is also a revolutionary, so we have 2 revolutionaries. He likes them but not the aristocrat, but he has a reasonable friendship with her. Looks like an educated person. It's worth listening to what he's suggesting in this difficult situation. I mean, I don't know what kind of education he had, but my education didn't teach me survival exactly. So I guess there is not time as such, but there are actions that you can perform. You can do things. It's too dangerous to explore. Okay. Diary is a log of conversations. That's interesting. With this, we have some cigarettes. We have some vodka. shelter, palisade, quarantine point, workshop. We should start with a shelter. We'll remove this snowbank. Who's going to remove the snowbank? Let's have this gentleman do it. So we get a bunch of stuff. Very good. And we can then make a solid, simple lining. Makes it possible to rest and reduce the fatigue of the character. Regenerate the fatigue for every unused action point. Unlocks the option action rest. Okay. For that we need a bunch of materials. In fact, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 materials. We have 4 rags, which are each worth 2. That would do it. Ah, but we do not have the necessary needles? No, we do have the necessary needles. Or is it one or the other? Ah, okay, so you use this or that. Is that right? Ah, we need a second person, that's the problem. I need to select somebody else to do it. How about you? Oh, they don't like each other, so that's bad. Well, too bad. Not enough resources. Ah, we need 20, I see. Right, so we have 4 out of 20, but we can't actually do it now. That's unfortunate. How about makeshift? We don't have that either. Okay, so we can't do that, but we have cleared it at least. That's a start. So I guess they don't really tell you in advance what the material requirements are for all these things. How about a palisade? We can remove the snowbank here as well. How about you do that? I suppose you just begin by removing the snow everywhere. That also gets you some resources. A solid fence reduces damage of the camp structures caused by bad weather. Provides everybody in the camp with additional wind protection. Using objects from the tool group increases the quality of the structure made. Do we have tools? We do not have tools. We need a bunch of wood. We need a bunch more wood. We actually need a lot of wood. We also need a second person to do it. What is he like? Is there a way of seeing that in this mode? I guess there is not. These two like each other. No, they don't like each other. Can I remove you? Really do not like each other. Also do not like each other. Yeah, they don't. None of them like each other. Well, they will have to deal with it. Do we have the means to do this? Sticks, needles, split wood. Okay, so we are lacking in wood for this. We now have enough for the shelter. So we found... Oh, we need 20 needles, I guess, for that, which we also do not have. A workshop. So you have the problem that you are tired. You can also gather strength in the quarantine. So let's also remove the snowbank, which you can do. A solid bed, a warm corner away from the camp, hustle and bustle. This doesn't seem all that bustling, to be honest. Makes it possible to regenerate. Gathering strength slightly reduces fatigue and restores a bit of health. Okay, that seems quite useful. For that we need tons and tons of wood, as well as a bunch of material and a whole lot of needles. So what I'm hearing here is that we need a lot of needles. We don't have anything that can substitute for needles. You can substitute, yeah, no, not really. We can do with fewer needles, but it's not much. So we have to hope that we can get more. It's too dangerous to explore. Okay. Is there a way of gathering needles? Or do we just have to dig up first? We can't do that. Oh, you are already tired, so maybe you should do that. Ah, nice. So there's 13 needles. Is focus. She likes repetitive actions. They increase their morale when performing the same actions in a row. Interesting. That gives you the workbench, but that seems something that you would want later, right? We now have 17 of these, which is not enough for a real bed, but it is enough for a makeshift bed, which strikes me as better than nothing. Do we have the necessary wood? Not hugely. So it does all have to be the same material. You cannot add them up, I guess. You can do this and then also add sticks to that. Okay. That's good to know. So bark is fuel or food. In other words, we need a lot more wood here. Not the palisade. Yeah, we need way too much stuff for that. The solid simple lining. Yeah, we do have enough for the solid simple lining, so that's at least something. Everybody's fatigued, so it seems to me we might as well do that. But I guess it's pre-selected. Not enough character AP. You do it. That's a solid one. Yeah, we don't have enough for that quite yet. Yeah, so let's make do with a makeshift one. This character performs the same action the second or third time on a given day. They reduce their morale in this way. Okay, so he wants to do different things. This character has a chance to recover AP from the repair of camp structures or tools. That's cool. Because you discover sort of who they are from what they do. Interesting. Makeshift isolated bed. Solid bed. Has a lot of material. We don't really have enough for. No. Blankets. Rest additionally reduces freezing and increases the character's morale. We don't really have enough for that either. So we should have enough for this. We swap you out for him. It's a little crooked, but what can I do about it? I'm sure a crooked bed will do as well. Yeah, they are messy, so they do bad construction. But they like it when it's makeshift as a result. So he still has 2 AP left. Question is what we can do with that. Don't have enough for that. Makeshift simple cover. Yeah, we don't have the needles for that anyway. Very good. Shelter quality is very bad. Okay. This guy is quite tired. He's the only one who has any AP left. Or can anybody rest? It doesn't take AP to rest. Seemingly not. Okay, but you and you are tired, so let's put you into rest, and then you will be hurt. These two can then rest up. Looks like that is everything, right, that we can do at the moment while he is sleeping. Camp morale is okay, visibility is okay, we might be able to add a bit more fuel. Make an item. Throw some cones in there. There we go. These combs are only good for that anyway, apparently. String, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So this will have to do for their warmth. We have a free slot in the shelter. I do not have a free slot in the shelter, so they will have to make do. Frost after night. Everybody will be fine except the lady is going to be cold, I guess, by the looks of it. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so she can't sleep, also very useful. I mean, I'm much the same way, to be fair. When not sleeping, the characters sitting by the fire have conversations with each other. During one night, you can start 2 topics. Each topic is an opportunity to get to know the character better, discover their traits, or change relationships, I guess, between the interlocutors. Some dialogues can unblock new topics or even tasks related to the characters. Select one of the above topics to start a conversation. You can learn more about them. Why don't we have him introduce himself? Bloody hell, what an adventure! Almost like in 1910, when Azerbaijani fighters derailed my train. Or as in Wadi Halfa in 1902. Well, then it was the boiler that exploded. If you participated in many rail disasters, Mr. Gray, Edward Gray. Indeed, I have had many adventures. I try to avoid only those in which nobody survives. They all like his excellent jokes, that's good to see. So that's one topic used, I guess. And then we have another topic. Let's check the Northern River. Why should we stick in this forest in cold? When we're still driving, a bend of a river could be seen in the north. We have to get to it. I think it's Selenga or some influent of it. Anyway, all the rivers in this area flow into Baikal. That's what I'm talking about. We'll build a raft and the next thing we see is Irkutsk. Each dialogue should be conducted sensibly. I like doing things sensibly. The decisions affect the relationship between the characters and the morale, both individual and in the entire camp. Selecting issues that match the character's nature will increase their morale, but they will not necessarily win the approval of the rest of the team. Select one of the answers. Well, he's an educated man, right? So he would say, let's discuss this idea. Well, at least let's look for the river and check the ice condition. After all, it's autumn. Maybe the river will be navigable. And if it's covered with hard ice, we can build a sleigh like Chukchi people. Traveling down the river can be feasible, even without a team. This is not so stupid. Which is, you know, a great compliment. So we have an instruction now. We have 9 days. Okay, they all end up liking each other more. That's good to see. That's all very positive. It just keeps going. The morale went down a little bit. This character loves to brag. Initially they gain more trust, but regularly lose it during the game. Yeah, that sounds about right. This character is likable. Everybody likes them all the time. Even though, so he's like bad at doing stuff, but he's good at social stuff. Everybody has all their action points back, which is good. People are hungry and big hungry. She's cold. She's thirsty. She's tired. But they are all doing still kind of okay. And we have 9 days to check the river flow to northwest of the camp. She more easily gets hungry. I guess that's why she's big hungry. Alright, there's a lot of traits to keep track of. It's not just one or two. The shots have ceased. The renegades retreated from the crash site. So you can leave the camp safely. To send expedition in order to obtain new resources and explore the nearby area, press the map button in the upper left corner. Map window is the place where you will manage expeditions. To send the first team, press send new expedition button in the bottom right corner. The expedition preparation window is the place where you decide who and with what equipment to send to the field. Send expedition is the action with a cost for 1 or 2 characters equal to 1 action point per character. Okay, so just 1 to do that. Dual expeditions have lower risk of getting lost. Current state of relationship between the characters participating in it can have both positive and negative effect on the success. Assign 2 characters to the slots. Well, this lady is already, you know, hungry and all that, so maybe she can better go do something useful. She doesn't really get along with the revolutionaries, I would guess. And since Gray is such a braggart, let's send him. That might make some sense. Oh, hey, Mordkop. Good to see you. Revolutionary greetings to you also. Long live the glorious October Revolution. Although, given the context, I'm not 100% sure if this is just before or just after. After assigning the characters, we can add some of the resources from the camp to their equipment. Equip them in clothes, which I guess above and beyond what they're wearing, I assume. And in case of dual expedition, check the relationship between the characters. Confirm the expedition by pressing the button at the bottom of the window. So we don't actually get to do that now because it's a tutorial. You should just do it. Okay. Final of the currently selected expedition is located in the bottom left corner. You can see who they all are with their inventory. Which I guess is this. And do search actions, or how safe they are. Yeah, okay. You're currently in the camp zone that cannot be searched. To move to the adjacent tile, select one of the 6 zones. Okay, so it's like hex tiles located around the camp. How long do I want to do this? More or less because I want to do stasis today. Probably not super long. Actually, I specifically picked this game because I didn't want to play very long. If you wouldn't mind starting a little later, then that would work for me. I might go until, I don't know, 9ish, 9:30, depending a bit on how much content this game has. I don't know this game at all well, so it's hard to say. Would that work? Danger levels are insignificant, safe, easy, average. So is safe better than insignificant? That's a good question, right? This is one of the problems with using word descriptors instead of numbers for this sort of stuff. The more you go this way, the harder it gets, so I'm guessing that insignificant is safer than safe. Sure, okay. Yeah, let's do that. I would be interested in seeing your stream too. I mean, if you by that time set it up, I can also raid you. I keep forgetting to raid people, so I might as well do that and figure out how it works. Alright, so which of these zones are we going into? Well, we mostly need a lot of needles and stuff, so let's go into the woods. Every move on the map increases the risk of getting lost of the expedition and can force its members to stay overnight in the forest. Bad weather increases this risk. Apart from the move, the level of getting lost risk increases during performance of the zone searching action. Perform zone searching action by pressing the magnifying glass icon in the expedition panel. Let's do it. This window shows the items that were found within a given zone. Press take all or some of them and then press the confirmation button. So we get 6 needles, a bunch of feathers, which are fuel apparently, as well as arrows, mushrooms which we can eat, will probably cause indigestion eating raw, bugs, disgusting but it's still protein, come on, bugs aren't that bad, bark, yeah, fuel or food, but that's really good because we needed a lot of needles. There's no reason at this point, I guess, to not take everything. Note that the search action, in addition to the risk of getting lost, has also increased the level of zone threat. So now it is average. The higher the zone threat level, the more interesting it will the renegades will be. I guess will the renegades be. Whereas wild animals will avoid it. So who are these people, bourgeoisie? Actually, we have 4 characters. These are just 2 of them. There are 2 revolutionaries, there is 1 aristocrat, and we have Sir Edward Grey, who is probably like a British spy or something, right? I think there are more characters you can unlock, but this is like that. I did it in the standard sort of tutorial settings, and then you get these 4. You can continue the expedition. When you decide that it will be safe to return to the camp, you can move to it by going through subsequent zones, or by pressing the return to camp button in the bottom right corner. Okay, so we can decide to do more, which makes it riskier, or we can go back but we don't get as much stuff. So I'm guessing we shall now go to this, which is insignificant. The loss probability is still pretty low. Let's do a search here and get more stuff. Poisonous mushroom. Okay. I wonder if you can do anything else with this. It has 2 food points and it has 1 mushroom point. We get 5 needles, which is pretty good. We get berries, which is one of the few tasty things in the surrounding. That is nice. We get bark and we have a lot of sticks. That's also quite good. So now the danger level here is average. And we get to see what sort of resources there are and how many. That's also quite interesting. I quite like that system actually. So you go and explore and you don't know what there's going to be. And then after you've explored it, you don't just get stuff, but it also shows you what sort of things are available. How are we doing on loss probability? 23%. I'm tempted to do 1 more here. That costs an action point. I don't know if that's bad, but I don't think so. Delayed with toadstools. Give it 1 more go. We get moss. If you run out of food, you will have to eat it. Like the Icelanders do in Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. According to Jules Verne, Icelanders live primarily on eating moss, if I remember that book correctly. Loads of poisonous mushrooms. I really hope that there's something more useful to do with them. Maybe we can feed them to like predators or something. To like the wolves. Edible roots. You can eat it. Stones, needles. That seems like a decent haul. Loss probability has now gone down. Somehow, I guess because we expended that action point and in return for that the loss thing went down. But now everything has average danger level. kind of tempted to risk it for a little bit and just see what happens. But we do need to stay near the camp. Average, average, average. Risky, average. Go here. There's a renegade patrol near your expedition. It's best to avoid a direct meeting. Ah, here's the train. Okay, I see it. If your expedition enters the zone where the patrol is, or it goes to your expedition, an event related to confrontation will appear. The renegades, just like wild animals, can change their position on the map every day. Okay, so there's like a circulating kind of enemy that you don't know about. So at this point these people are here and they could move into here. But they could also not move into here. What do we get? We get cones, which are pretty good for the fire. We get needles, which are really good for everything. We get lots of bugs, which people can eat. Get some scrap metal, which looks like it's really good. Okay, that's probably enough for now. Get a lot of stuff. And then I guess this is a return. So here are 4 characters. Here's Sir Edward Grey, the British spy. Here's Alexei Rabinovich, who is the educated Bolshevik. Here's Maria Petrenko, who is the slightly grumpier Bolshevik. And we have Anna Khilkov, who is an aristocratic lady and a little bit frail. And they mostly don't seem to like each other that much. Now let's see how everybody is doing. Here we have the status descriptions. Everybody needs to eat something. And we need to build some stuff. She's very cold. And the first thing we can do is add some cones here to warm everybody up a little bit. I hope that will help with the shivering. I need to do it at the end of the day. Okay, but I guess there's only a day-night cycle anyway. You can use split wood, which is very good fuel. There we go. That should do quite well. Then what do we do with our remaining action points? Can we give them something to eat? Is eating an action, or is it just something you do? She's tired, but we also need to let her... We also need to actually do some stuff. Do we have enough to make a palisade? Need lots and lots of wood. I mean, we could maybe do it. No. The thing is, it's not cumulative, right? So you would have to do it like this. Spend you there. Use 9 structure points. We could do that with stones. And then another stone, and you would be able to do it. And build a solid fence. Who's good at doing something solid? She's pretty good at doing solid stuff. He is clumsy, he likes to do different things, so let's have them both do that. We have a tool, we do not have a tool. Alright, let's go for it. Okay, they like each other better now. This character has a chance to regain AP from the set of traps action, and the snares set by them have a better chance of capturing animals. And he's our outdoorsman guy. A bit of luck can get you out of many troubles. Look, it's the luck stat. As we all know, all you need in life is luck and fist. What are all these things? Oh, these are their traits, right. She's a team worker, she is sparing, which is very good, she's focused, which is very good. But she is harder to keep alive, essentially. Okay, if we make a marked path, we unlock the action gather brushwood. We can set snares, which I guess, allow us to capture animals. That sounds quite useful. Then we can further the palisade. What is more useful? We need a sharp, which we do have. So this way we can get more wood, and we kind of need to keep the wood economy going first, I think, because we're always going to need stuff for the fire and stuff to build and repair. So I think that's actually more urgent. However, we don't have enough sticks, and we can only do it with sticks. That's unfortunate. How about snares? That also requires more sticks, so we can only do stick stuff here. And you need wood logs. Yeah, we don't have any of that. Now, if we want to feed them, can we just straight up do that? I guess so, right? They have some berries. She's the most hungry, so we will give her some berries to eat. That doesn't immediately seem to have helped. Everybody's kind of hungry. There's a slight decrease, moderate decrease, better than starvation. Because she will also get that. Now she's only regular hungry. Alright, that's not very forgiving. Now everybody can have one round of bugs to eat. Yuck, awful, but what can a man do except that you also need more food, so you get another bug. Okay, that makes everybody happy. She wants to have some water. Do we have any water? It doesn't look like we do. We have vodka. Vodka as a vodka tastes the same, which is great. I guess this is a pun on the fact that in Russian and other Slavic languages it's from voda, right? From water. It's a little water. So I suppose in whatever language this was originally made in, this made more sense. We can feed the lady the vodka, but we can maybe better have her do stuff first. I don't really know what the poisonous mushroom is good for. It has green under it. Let's have a look. Can we do stuff here? Can we set up a workshop? Needs loads of wood, needs loads of structure, needs a whole bunch of string that we don't have. So I guess that's probably a fairly advanced thing to have. We do have a lot of this. Isolated bed, raised cot. 3 people can rest on one day without problems. Does everybody need to rest? No, only 2 people need to rest. So let's not worry about that. Blankets may however be useful because they reduce freezing, but we don't have enough materials. That's a little bit tragic. We can make a simple cover. We have a lot of structure. Do we have the necessary wood? Because these are better used as fuel. These are... I don't think we actually have enough wood for any of this. That constitutes a problem. You can clear the snow, and clearing the snow also gives you... Wait, did I? Oh, maybe I already cleared all the snow. Yeah, no, I think I already cleared all the snow everywhere. So the best thing we could do is do another expedition, if that's allowed. Or are you allowed only one at a time? I don't know. I feel like we'll send Edward Grey again. And our smart guy can go together. I don't like him all that much. What of you are you instead? Can I remove you? Okay. Oh, but that's even worse. She already has out of AP, so we'll send her. Because he's quite good with like expedition stuff. And they like each other well enough. Should I give him anything? Send... Do they need resources or something? Doesn't really say. Well, let's just make it happen. These are almost safe, or rather average danger, because we've been there already. But this area is safe. There's another piece of train here. Do some searching. We get sticks, we get a whole bunch more cones, we get psychedelic mushrooms even. Allows you to forget about Siberia for a moment. Got a whole lot of extra mushrooms, that's pretty good. We get a lot of needles, that's also good, and more bugs. I guess there's a maximum to what they can carry. So that's easy. Has a lot of stuff. Our loss probability is quite a bit. But we do have still an action point here. Put you here. More sticks. A piece of canvas is really, really good. Lots of fuel, lots of material. Lots of moss for eating, more psychedelics, a whole bunch of scrap metal is good. Let's have all of that. Now everything is getting pretty risky, although this one is still easy. I think we can probably return to camp. Kind of playing it safe here. Is there anything else that anybody can do that is actually useful? Do you have any actions that I don't know about? It'd be interesting if there were like an action overview or something. Now she's quite cold. Warm them with a warm... Well, we can actually add even more fuel now. Something like this. Maybe we'll rest. You. And who else was tired? You. We rest you and you. Which is useful to do, and I don't know that there's very much else I can do. Can I make a bed? I might be able to make a bed actually. Nice. I guess he has to do it. That's probably not ideal because it would be better for her to do it, but he doesn't have enough character AP, but he does if he can do it with someone else, but she is sleeping, right? She doesn't have the character. I see, I should have done that first and then sent her to bed. Eh, whatever. We'll make do. They need to warm up anyway. So now anything we can do at the palisade. We have loads more sticks, so we can make them marked paths, I think. That seems pretty good. Oh yeah, but you can't actually do anything, right? She's the only one who can do anything, and individually it takes 3 action points. Can I unrest her? Probably not. Well, in that case, let's move on. If a shelter is built in the camp. We have a shelter, right? Yeah, we have a shelter. Excellent. That wasn't very efficient, but you know. Nice, so he doesn't need much sleep. That's very useful. And every night they can talk about some stuff over the campfire, and we get to learn more about these people. So Alexei's introduction. Dear comrades in misery, I don't want to worry you, but our situation is serious. Yeah, he's well educated, we knew that. Given the weather and our current diet, we won't survive long without fresh meat and aspirin. We're at risk of scurvy, and a simple cold will weaken our bodies. Aspirin. This damn German chemistry. You look like a scholar, so you know that primitive people lived without aspirin. And they died. Not even 30 years old on average. Because of a runny nose. Sometimes also because of scurvy. Must you be such a pessimist? Do you really think we will all die? Everyone? I don't know. I can see the beginning of scurvy in me. Oh, my tooth is moving. It's moving because you have hit your jaw on the floor during the accident. The shocks during the collision may have caused me micro-traumas, which will manifest themselves soon. Alright, so he's like smart but a little bit of a pessimist. She's kind of an idiot. Second idea, we could check the hand car, but it's pretty dangerous because the renegades are still around. Or we can introduce Anga or Maria. Let's have Anga introduce herself. I'm cold, get me out of here. Maybe you'd like some caviar? I beg your pardon. Ha! Easy miss, bit of humor would do no harm in this situation. Humor? I'm frozen to the bone. Please do something. My poor Viera, she would bring me my fur now, and she would brew chai with arak. But those butchers. Oh, my poor Viera, and Aunt Nastka. Crying won't bring them back to life. You should worry about yourself now. Why did we leave St. Petersburg? We should have stayed at the estate of Prince Uchansky. Oh, Auntie, I should have accepted his proposal. Alright, so people sort of like that. Not everybody liked it. You then get a sort of end of day summary of how they all feel about each other. It's mostly positive, I think, when they have talked. Camp morale goes down a little bit. Everybody retains their 3. They have a morale test, but they pass. Everybody retains their 3 action points. That's very useful, but everybody is very hungry. Yeah, right. I guess because these have 3 statuses now, and so they have to pass a morale test combining their morale and the camp morale. I see, that makes sense. She's still cold, even though I really increased the fire. Well, what can you do? I think she's like pretty good at stuff, but very annoying and hard to keep alive. Everybody needs loads of food. And we need water, which we don't really have. So everybody's very thirsty. We only have 2 units of vodka. How does one get water is the question here. Can we melt snow? That would make sense, right? In diary window, there are all the essential changes in the camp saved as the course of events and the dialogues. You can recall things that happened. Okay. Cool. Haven't had any real events yet. That's fine. Quality of the shelter is very bad. Quality of the fire is also very bad. So the question is, what do we do first? Do we first go on an expedition and then build stuff? Or do we first build stuff? We first need to feed people, right? I don't know if their conditions affect also how they perform on expeditions. They might well. Give everybody some bugs, beginning with you. Was that him or was that him? No, it was her. Give her some bugs. Give him a mushroom, give her a mushroom. Her a mushroom, give him a mushroom. Everybody is just a little bit hungry. Let's give the men some vodka. Okay, he's now drunk. A drunk character does not change their morale. There's a small chance of failure on the actions they undertake. Character destroys half of the resources. Okay, you can also have some. Now had another round, eh? We can give everybody some edible roots. She's still hungry, but she's always hungry. That at least sets everybody up decently. We put some fuel on the fire, keep everyone happy. We also add some feathers. What we really need is to find a way of getting water, and I don't know how you do that in this game. We think that one of these things would allow us that. Does this have a water option? Traps, camouflaged area, marked paths, palisade. Okay. Maybe the campfire has actions. Grilled food. Roast an animal, burnt meat, campfire fish. Guess it's when you have food. Ah, small water filter. That's what we're looking at. Obtain water from snow. That is what we will be needing. Makes a lot of sense. Put some sticks in. Let's have some canvas. It's a bit of a waste really, but we definitely need this. We can have her do it. And we can have... who else wants to do it? He's drunk, he's clumsy, so let's have her do it. And they don't like each other, but that is unfortunate. Morale goes down. She saves some materials, that's good. She has the chance to regain AP while cooking food. Nice. So we have a good water filter. And we can improve the water filter with charcoal, but we don't have that. We have a pot that we can, with clay, that we can actually build something. Put 2 of these in. Okay, we can have him do it, we can have him do it. They don't like each other much. So I guess it's best if you two do it. Please don't ruin the pot. Nice. So we have that. We have a pot, so it makes it possible to cook. Seeds with additional frost protection. Make a grill, possible to okay, hence the mushrooms. The grill, it becomes safer to eat. We have loads of wood. We do have a lot of wood. However, probably more useful is to first get some water. Who can get some water? Let's have her do it. Excellent. So now we have a bunch of water. You have earned your water. You've had vodka, so she can have some water. You need 1 status fewer, so you can have the water. Now let's maybe do that again. Because that's always going to be important to have water. You can have your own water, then we have some spare. And then what do we want to do next? I guess we need an expedition. Who can go on expedition? Yeah, it's sort of reset the danger level to some extent. That's good. Have you, of course, on expedition as always. And you? Do they need water on their thing? Maybe. Let's give him some water with him, just in case. What do cigarettes do? Good for frayed nerves. Okay. There's a river flowing northwest of the camp. However, what do we really need? Bugs, mushrooms, cones, sticks and bark. Stones and needles. Lots of needles is good. This direction, however, is a little bit more dangerous than the other direction. This is average, easy. Let's go to this spruce grove and search this. Get 8 sticks, that's pretty good. Some bark, a bunch more berries is very nice. Some needles, also pretty good. Then let's go into the unknown zone and search that. Where we get edible roots, we get a whole bunch of wood logs. Wow, look at that. Fuel for half a day. Sticks, big tree branches. That looks very solid. It's very good for on the fuel stuff. Loss probability is still kind of low. Now we are meant to go northwest. Tempted to go here, but that's 2 steps back, which is a bit risky. There it is. Let's explore that. Events are special moments in the game that can appear randomly. They can be a result of dialogues, character stories, critical characters' morale, findings on the map, or confrontation with the renegades or the wild animals. Events can relate to one or more characters. This is important to the main character to whom the current event description applies. I guess that's him. Or the person making a decision. Additional characters taking part are presented as portraits arranged in the line below the event title. Right, so here. Relation status is life points and morale of the characters may change. During the event you have to make many often difficult choices. Some of the items may require appropriate traits or having specific items in the characters or the camp's equipment. You reach the river that you have seen from the train windows before the crash. The riverbed is wider than you have expected. It could be Selenga or some important influent of it. Although water is still flowing in the middle, most of the surface is covered with shuga and fallen snow slush, which forms solid ice at the banks. All ideas about escaping that seemed good by the fire now seem dubious. So we can check the possibility of floating a raft. We can check the ice strength or leave. Let's check the ice strength. They get cold. You have carefully approached the edge in the least steep place. At this time of year the ice doesn't bind to the entire width of the river, but it looks quite solid at the shore. At least it doesn't crack after a stone is thrown. However, there's no reason to check its strength. You can see the coastal cover does not stretch along the entire length of the river, only accumulates in the bends and places with a slower current. The sleigh trip would end after a few dozen arshins. There is, however, one positive side. You can still see the fish in the water. You've even managed to get a lump of ice with a trapped umul. Whatever that is. It's worth coming back here later with some woven fish trap. Alright, good to know. Back to come among the trees before we catch a cold. But we do get a fish out of it, which is not bad. And we really have to get back now. Because he has only one action point left, so... Get you back to camp, huh? Nice, so we got a bunch of stuff. We don't have a ton of action points left. We might be able to add more fuel to the fire. We can, since she has no more action points anyway, we can send her to rest. She has one more. You're still drunk and hungry. Okay. Do you have something small we can give you? In terms of food. If I can give you these berries. Doesn't seem to do the trick. I mean, edible root. That's... okay, so he has got indigestion. He will lose some morale at night, but he's got vodka also, so maybe that will help. Let's add some fuel here. What can we do for fuel? Put a branch on it, so it'll be super warm. Also make it insanely visible. But what can you do? That will at least make people happy. Then we can see if we can upgrade you a little bit. Better water filter or better grill? Maybe a grill? Yeah, we don't have enough for that. We do have enough for that. And enough sticks. So let's have you and you do that. It's a little unfortunate to have him do stuff while he's so clumsy, but she's on the other hand quite good and likes teamwork, so let's hope this goes well. Okay, they like each other better now, and we now have a huge grill, which allows us to do stuff with the grill. Probably she would do the cooking, but she is sleeping now. Now she also needs to sleep and is also out of action point, so we can give her that slot. Yeah. Why is that not working? Shouldn't that be possible? Oh, you are resting, that's fine. You need to be resting. Oh, I meant to click this, I guess. Wait, can she not rest? But only when you do it at the time itself or something. A little confusing. Rest, you, and you. Yeah, okay, like so. I get it. You have to first then reset it and then set it for both of them. So that is everybody taken care of. You have one action point left, which can be used for grilled food, cooked food, make some... Ooh, it becomes very longest dark here with the herbal tea and stuff. Make some mushroom soup, any amount of mushrooms and some water. Stew, delicious stew with herbs and meat. Regular stew with meat. Soup requires vegetables. We can make a mushroom soup with these fellas. Ah, we need more water for that, I see. Let's see. Need to pay attention to that. Which tea, herbal tea. We do have enough for herbal tea, but we don't have any herbs. Or herbs, as Americans might say. Also dry mushrooms. In some action cost, there's a possibility to set the number of processed resources. With the plus and minus icons, you can decide how many. It removes some of the toxins and prevents them from rotting. Would this remove the toxins from you? I wonder. Also smoke a fish, being edible for a long time. We have a campfire fish. Goes off the bones more safely, rots more slowly. Interesting, we do have a fish. Let him try to do that. Nice, so now we have a smoked fish. Hunger considerable decrease. And that's everybody everybody done, I guess. We will probably get some kind of negative effect from the camp visibility. No one will be cold anymore, that's nice. So let's see what happens. Of course, we first need Maria's introduction. I'm begging you, help me. We must go back there tomorrow to look for Pietrusha. Pietya? Is he your brother? He was a baggage handler. He is. He is a baggage handler. God, I've left him there alone. Maria, there's no chance that he survived the catastrophe. And even if somehow the bandits pulled him out of the wreck and did not kill him, by looking for him we put ourselves in great danger. Will you leave an innocent boy to die? We don't have enough weapons or supplies. We still don't know anything about these butchers. Going out in a search is unreasonable, at least until we're better prepared. He could definitely like to help you. Would definitely like to help you in such a situation. Surely we can do something now. First of all, you need to save strength. You won't help him dead or sick. This remark applies to all of us. Let's gather strength and avoid fighting. Let's not be conspicuous. What else shall we pick? Edward and Betty. We can have a drunk tale. We can have let's seek a better shelter. We can check the hand car. Or we can talk about the crash and the slaughter. What do you think we should do? While I quickly have a drink. What should it be? I mean, there's a temptation to go for the drunk tale, because that sounds kind of funny. We could also check the hand car, whatever a hand car is. Well, let's maybe try that. Unfortunately, the locomotive will not start, but a hand car was attached to the last car. We could use it to get out of here. And we will go away towards the setting sun. Come on, if the hand car is derailed, we will not be able to put it on the track among the whistle bullets of these thugs. What if it isn't derailed? Anyway, the hand car is not everything. Saddle horses were in the last car too. So now they are chopped meat. Even if some of the horses survived the catastrophe, they were probably taken by these bandits. So instead of checking it, you'd rather sit here idle? What's wrong with you? Do you expect everything to be done for you? Well, what's the plan then? You need to look into the last car and check the condition of the horses and the hand car. As much and as little. In that case, it's best that you go alone. A larger group will attract the attention of the thugs. I guess the idea is that we will have an expedition with her alone. Camp morale keeps going down, I don't know why. She also keeps being insanely hungry. I don't know why, I've fed her enough, but now she's like terribly hungry. Nobody else seems to be doing kind of okay. At least they weren't cold. But yeah, we gotta give her some food, that she doesn't starve, so I guess she can have the fish, which puts her way down. She and him are also pretty hungry. Mold. Probably is now, but only for the bravest ones. I guess this was one of our things. Let's use that mold as fuel. Seems like a singer up here. We have some water we can give people. We could probably get more quite easily. So somebody should go and filter water. She likes doing the same thing every day, so she can do that. Nice. Now we have enough water for everybody. That's a good start. We should cook some food probably if we can. We don't really have the means to make mushroom soup. However, if we again get water, then we can do that. Let's have her do it again. Yeah, she likes repetitive actions, same actions in a row. It makes her happy. So that's good. Then we have enough water for soup, I think. We can put some mushrooms in here. I wonder whether putting the poisonous one in retains their poison, but I'm guessing yes. Let's put the psychedelic ones in, since they don't seem all that useful anyway. She is good at cooking. And she retained her AP from that, that's good. And now we all have a suspicious soup. Is it worth the risk? I would say it is worth the risk, and you eat your own soup. It's good. He needs some food. Bit weakly seasoned, but warming. She always needs more food. And give Mr. Gray his soup. And then you can have some roots. And you can have some roots. That's all for now. It's all pretty terrible stuff. Yeah, she wants to go and do an expedition, which we could do. We need to think about what else useful thing we can do. Because we have a fair amount of materials, which we should probably do something with. Let's see if we can upgrade this here. Simple covers to give everybody wind protection. A lot of wind. No. Light snowing. It doesn't seem like the weather is that bad. In which case I'm more interested in this, because we can get free resources of a kind. So we'll do this with her and no, you don't like each other that much. Let's have Gray do it. He likes some variation. So no tools. Nice. What is this? Unlock, gather brushwood. Okay. So we can build camouflage, which is very good with visibility, increases the efficiency of snares. We haven't actually set snares yet. Solid snares, we don't have enough sticks for that. And we can make a palisade, which reduces damage to the camp. And what is the action? Gathering brushwood, 1 AP, find wood, bark and cones, and you could have a sack. Something useful somebody could do. is this icon? He's messy, he's likable, he's well educated. Is this icon mean? Oh, this may be the guy I selected, is that it? Yeah, that's just a selected person. She's a mender, she's an insomniac, she's a cook. Why don't you go gather brushwood? You can't really fuck that up. 3 pine cones, okay, that's something I guess. Then we will add you to the fire. Keeps it reasonable. Now this is, you can tell this is a relatively easy mode because it's definitely going a little better than you would expect. I'm wondering if I should make the palisade. Because I do have enough stuff. You maybe best save as fuel, but we could use some of you. And then have you build it with him. They kind of get along, I think. Being both Bolsheviks or some kind of revolutionary. This reduces damage. Okay, that's good. Now all we could do is make this area, but we don't really need that. Alright, but we urgently need more food. So we definitely will need an expedition of some kind. This, I guess, means that there is wildlife here. I don't know if that means it's bad wildlife. I mean, it doesn't look like a wolf, does it? And this is for checking the back of the thing. What was it, the handcar at the back of the train. So let's see about that. This is average, this is risky. But she wants to do that by herself. Let's first send an expedition with our expedition man. And with you. Does you get along okay? Don't think we need to give you anything with. You find a wild game trace in one of the zones. To hunt it, enter its zone, but remember without proper equipment it can be very hard to hunt. If you fail, the animal will run into another zone. Wild animals like the renegades can move every day. Aha, but it's a good thing then. So let's go here and try to hunt it. What a surprise! You see a strange animal resembling a deer or a small doe at the nearby grove. It has no antlers. Its protruding ears bring a hare to mind more than a proud deer. It must be a Siberian musk deer, a timid creature often hunted for its fragrant secretions. Well, right now you are more interested in its meat and fur. Unfortunately, your actions caught the musk deer's attention and it immediately fled away. Next time you have to try harder. Oh well. I thought maybe our outdoorsman would be able to do something. That has also raised the danger level everywhere considerably. Or we can try and chase this guy again. Let's give that another go. The silent, snow-covered forest fell completely silent. The dark green branches of old firs bent to the ground under the snow. From time to time, snow slides from the crowns, falls lower, and then the large white stretching branches straighten, flooding the whole area with white soft snow. All tracks can be seen well on this silver quilt. You can be sure that a musk deer or a taiga deer have been passing this way quite recently. It's probably in a nearby grove. You almost run into a musk deer. The animal immediately starts to run, but you are trying to catch it. Ooh. You're really desperate. You throw yourself at the musk deer and overthrow it to the ground. Then you cover its head with a heavy branch until the animal stops moving. I guess they mean you beat it. It looks like you're going to have a warm stew today. Nice. Well, that is very useful. We got ourselves a whole animal. That's very desirable, but we can also, while we are here, do some searching. Gather all of the stuff that we get. Loss probability 25% right now. Anything else here that's acceptable? Could go here. Take a little risk. Nice. The risk paid off. We get a whole bunch of string, which is seemingly very rare, like canvas, which is amazing for material. Bunch of metal, bunch of moss, that's not that great. Nice. Now we will return to camp. And now she has some action points left, with which we could grill that deer. Roast an animal. Roasted meat. Requires raw meat. Or we can cook something. Stuffed roast requires a meat and a vegetable. With a herb. We can make a stew with meat and water. So let's have you and you try this. Even in these wilds you can find aromatic spices. Okay. So now we have 8 burnt meat. It causes indigestion but not poisoning. So we need 4 water. We don't have action points for dealing with that. None of this is herbs. So I suppose we should just directly eat that whenever we can. We'll give some to you, who immediately gets indigestion. And we will give some to you, who also immediately gets indigestion. Amazing. We have anything we can throw on the fire? Not really. Well, we can, but we don't really super need to. Might add some moss or 2, so we have it anyway. I don't know how much fire is enough fire, but we'll figure it out. Only she has some action points left, but not enough to do anything by herself, I think. However, you can always filter water. That's pretty much always useful. And then do it again. So that's good for us, and that's everybody done. And then for resting, we'll have you and you. That should do us for that. Bringing it again to night, where we have more topics possible. How about we talk about natural selection? The fact that we've managed to survive the disaster makes us think. I didn't want to see the railway anymore. My dear, you don't understand me. I mean, we were extremely lucky to survive this hardship as the only passengers on the train. It is unique that we have been selected in a great attempt of natural selection. Have we broken any law of nature? I mean, the laws of natural selection can't be fooled, not in the long run. Since we live, it means that we have some features that enable us to survive. So now it will be easier for us to survive rather than for ordinary people. Actually, yes, although I will probably die of scurvy. Your knowledge is almost equal to defeatism. That's in character for her, so she liked that. What else can we talk about? Let's seek a better shelter. Listen, I have an idea. The tracks on this section have been built recently, and every few dozen versts there should be a hut of workers who are cutting down the railroad ties. Perfect idea. So we just have to explore the area within dozens of versts, right? Explore it yourself if you want to. If you raised a finger to do a decent job, you might know that it's worth checking the tracks. There are no loggers' huts by the tracks. But there are markings for the commissioners. The mile marking on one of the ties should tell us where to look for the workshop. You think those butchers who derailed the train didn't know about it? Forget it. Even if there is a workshop in the area, it is probably a hideout for the thugs. Alright, so everybody is like not super feeling good. Morale keeps going down. But the general liking each other keeps going up. I don't know why morale keeps going down, maybe it's just demoralizing to be here anyway. But nobody has too many statuses for this difficulty level, so everybody passes still. But that's only because this is on easy mode for the tutorial. I'll play maybe more another half hour or so, and then I think we have fairly gotten the idea. Another thing has gone moldy. I wish they would tell you what it is that has gone moldy. Fortunately, it's not the meat. Might be one of the mushrooms. Okay, so these people are super hungry. Super the duper hungry. You can have it. You can have it. Well, that really helps them. Let's feed some of this useless moss to... Is that bad for you? Slight decrease. Oh, that's enough for him. And for her. And then we give some water to everybody. Which is, you know, a nice thing to do. Everybody happy with clean water. That's how we like to see it. Add some fuel. Mostly some moss, I think. And some of this mold. And we have a bunch of pine cones. Put it at about 61%. Seems to be about enough for everybody. Clear sky. The weather is kind, neither blowing or freezing. It's a good moment to explore the area, secure camp structures, or simply relax. Alright. If I take my time doing something, yeah, we knew that. We don't really need to cook food right now, because everybody's doing okay. Could consider building something if we have the materials. We do have quite a lot of materials. Can we finally make this bed? Yes. And... yes. But then we don't have enough needles. We have 1 wood, but you're only worth 4 wood, and the problem is it doesn't stack. It has to all be of one type, it seems. It doesn't then let you say, give me the other log as well. Which seems a little odd. Let's make it a makeshift bed. We need 8 of you, 2 of you, 8 of you, or 8 of you, in which case we could do it. We have you because you like doing makeshift work, and let's have you do it because you're good at doing stuff. But she doesn't like him. He does like him. Yeah, maybe these two should do it. This character knows about treatment and has a chance to recover AP from the care action. It's very useful. So he's the camp doctor now. The shocked and the sick can be in the caretaker post. We can reduce the character's freezing levels. We can have medical tools. We need enormous amounts of wood for this. That doesn't seem immensely useful. How about the workbench? We still don't have enough string to even begin to contemplate that. We also don't have nearly enough materials. But it would be something to work towards. Now everybody is doing pretty well, and it is a clear occasion. I'm a little bit tempted to send Maria on this expedition and have her check that she says the back of the train, which we would like to do. Let's send her. Which I guess is here. Ooh, we get an event. Winter woods are a grim place, especially if you don't win the favor of forest spirits. You don't expect your comrades to believe you, but when traveling through Siberia with Pietya, you have seen the supernatural forces many times, and you know that there are no jokes with leshies, lycos, and vile. They often take the least expected form and put the wanderers to the test. By twist of fate, you come across a large mycelium of Pagaiolus. They're edible mushrooms, but when improperly cooked, they will have some side effects. You remember how Karina Ignatieva, the oldest train guide, warned that the first find in the forest always belongs to Leshy. So let's make an offering of those mushrooms, because we're doing pretty well. You put up a small mound and put a broken mycelium on top. You will come back here sometime. If the tribute disappears, it means that Leshy is happy. However, if the mycelium grows despite the relocation, it means that the forest spirits offer it to you. Very good. The danger level is still average. Kind of tempted to have her search this. We can get scrap metal, but we don't really need scrap metal that much. Let's first go here. At the campfire, this idea seemed better. Now when one of the bandits can jump out from behind any tree, the plan of seeing the freight car is no longer so attractive. On the other hand, passive waiting for help in the middle of the forest is probably just as crazy. So you crawl slowly between the snowdrifts, straining your ears to hear any activity from the side of the wreck and all the thickets able to hide a man, while blurring the footprints that you are leaving behind in the snow. It seems to last forever. Finally, you crawl under the rear car chassis. Despite the frost, the inside smells of a carcass. It calms you down a bit. Hardly anyone would want to prepare an ambush in such conditions. Under the span of the car, you leave some secret signs. If Petrusha survives and is around the wreck, he will definitely visit one of such places. Immediately afterwards, you reach a broken side gate and carefully look through it. The view inside is quite unpleasant. Some of the horses died during the catastrophe, some were left to die by the bandits and died from wounds and frost. Saddle horses that survived the train derailment without visible damage were probably taken to the mountains. And the luggage boxes? Well, there are a lot of broken crate boards, straw and saddle cloths soaked with the stench of death. In the future, it will probably be worth returning here for materials for the construction of the shelter. But for now, you are alone. You only take a bit of frozen, rotting horse meat to try. It's better to get out of here. You're afraid that every minute spent in the car is a risk of attracting the attention of the renegades. But you also have enough of the smell of rot. You blur the traces of your presence and crawl back to the safe wood. Okay, so she gets a bunch of rotten meat, which you can use as bait, I guess. She gets raw meat, which is good. She gets a whole bunch of scrap metal, which is also nice. There is a thingy here, a piece of game, but I don't think we need that so urgently. More useful is maybe to go back this way. Oh shit. It's so terrible to wade through the virgin taiga alone on a dark evening. You try to walk on the soaked soles of your worn shoes silently. You often stop and listen to the voices of the mysterious forest bushes. Is it the crackled brushwood under the foot of one of the thugs? Is this the cry of a forest bird? Is that the growl of a starving beast? You stop every now and then, hold your breath, and strain your eyes and ears to the limit. This time it's safe, but you know that in a few steps the situation will happen again. Further hiking alone doesn't make sense. It will be completely dark soon, and there are still several hours of walking to the camp. You must stop and arrange some makeshift shelter. It's a pity that you don't have any companion here to share some story, and thus have more comfort at least. Alright, so she is lost now, and in the nothing else than the stinking peat bog. That doesn't sound very promising. That said, it should be possible to send another expedition before everybody gets lost. We'll have this man and this man also go on an expedition. Because we still need to get some more stuff. Especially the lounge car area has a lot of really good stuff. What's the most useful? Yeah, we need more string and stuff like that. Sticks we need. We're low on canvas, on moss, and on scrap metal. We need also more cones. I guess it tells you how much you have of things. Do some searching here. We get moss, we get more string, we get some psychedelic mushrooms, some regular ones, some more scrap. That's pretty decent. Well, the loss probability is still kind of low. Let's go here. Search that. Get ourselves a bunch of sticks, a bunch of needles, some bugs, some more mushrooms. But always nice. Yeah, we are still doing okay. We will go here now. She will come back eventually, I'm sure. Get our bark, we get more bugs. Lots of needles that can substitute for wood. Very good. And here's where we got branches and wood logs. That's quite good stuff. Now this is a little risky. I'll give it one more go. Needles with branch. Egg. 2 eggs. Not bad. Sure that's good. Let's quickly get you back to the camp before this all goes wrong. So yeah, we do without her because she's lost now. But we do have a whole lot of stuff. And we have her left to do something useful. Can we set up snares? We cannot. We do not have enough sticks. That's unfortunate. It would be nice if we could do that. Can get more sticks by sending him to do it. That just gave me needles, but it didn't get much else that is of use. Oh, not enough sticks, so be it. Is there anything useful she can do? Upgrading anything? 3 people can rest. Do 3 people need to rest? No, actually they're all pretty okay. How are we doing for water and other foodstuffs? We're doing pretty okay on that front. Anything here we can do that's useful? Yeah, we do not have enough for you. That is a shame. We need a caretaker post. What do we need else? Wound dressing doesn't seem all that relevant quite yet. We cannot make a workshop yet because we don't have enough strings yet. Oh, we do actually have enough strings. We do not have nearly enough materials, so that's good to know. We do almost have enough wood. A bit more materials would do the job for us. Well, under those circumstances, we can have her do some other useful things. Maybe make blankets. We need more canvas for this. I do want to get that blanket so that we can stop being so cold. I guess we will gather even more brushwood. It just gives us more needles, that's not very useful. Always do with more water. Use tired. And let's try out what fraternization does. But you can only do it with 2 characters. I see. That makes some sense, to be fair. And she can... what can she do that is of any use? Well, if there isn't anything else to do, you can always do more water filtering. We can always use more water. Cool. Well, everybody seems happy now. No one seems to be too bothered. We could make the fire a little bit better. Add a few needles here. Hopefully that will make it easier for our friend to return as well. And then go sleep. A painful poking in the side wakes you from a nap. When you open your eyes in the dim light of the fire, you see a sturdy man with no facial hair, his face weather-beaten from frost and sun. Although he looks like Tungush, his captured western clothes reveal he is with the Renegades gang. "Go," he says, starting to poke with the butt of his rifle again. "Leave it," he adds when you try to take your bundles. You move in the direction he indicates. The situation doesn't look good. So she gets captured, I see. "Silence!" The thug growls in an imperious voice and gives you a solid blow to the back and you stagger. You prefer to walk the rest of the way in silence. It's clear that the beanpole leads you to the rest of the gang for questioning. He didn't care about your belongings and he probably doesn't know Russian well enough to question you on the spot. What awaits you in captivity? Tortures? Quick death? Or maybe they will force you to extremely hard work? When you go, the fog rises. Could the taiga offer you help? Maybe you can wait for the right moment and flee when the white thickens. Now let's try that. Ooh. Yes, we go do it. Is the game bugged out? Or is it just thinking? Well, let's try that then. I guess because the bug is, the game is a little buggy or something. I don't imagine that was meant to happen, but it's fine. What can we talk about? Aga is always freezing, we don't really care about that. Let's talk about engines of progress. Although this invention has ultimately failed us, you must admit that rail is a great benefit to humanity. I think nothing is only good or bad. Rail transport can also be a carrier of violence. Okay, he's a pacifist. He doesn't like to quarrel. But iron tracks connect people in distant lands. Anyway, you say about this track section, Gold Buckle of Russia. What wrong can result from easier transport? This character rejects capitalism and promotes the ideas of social justice. Quite so. A lot of suffering. For example, financial fraud and the great expropriation of the poor who own land along railways in South America and the United States. Also the behavior of your compatriots, Sir Edward. The railway in Central Asia became a tool for establishing imperial order. Maybe it's true. I don't deny that by building tracks and other civilization conveniences, we bribe and make natives dependent on the imperial trade. But isn't it better to give them a carrot instead of a war stick? Anyway, how is the construction of your Trans-Siberian route different? Did you buy land from the taiga people? Did you consult the routes with them? Maybe this is the price of progress. We gain more and more, but with every change we lose a part of the soul. I haven't thought of you as such a sentimentalist, Alexei Rabinovich. A scholar should be like sentimentalism, one leg in enlightenment, the other in romanticism. Alexei Rabinovich, I consider you've been watching me for some time, as if you would like to ask something but are embarrassed. Yes, dear lady, you're right. Well, my sleeve rips off, and I wonder if you would be kind enough to sew it on. An excellent joke, Alexei Rabinovich, really excellent. Do I look like a person who can sew something without the help of my maid? Now that raised camp morale. Well, sorry for such an impudent request. I'm not angry, I'm just wondering where you get ideas about the customs and skills of women in my class. You must have read too many romance and adventure novels, in which every woman must be like Penelope. I must admit that before meeting you, I didn't have the pleasure to meet many ladies from the upper classes. Indeed, I love novels, and also those about romance and adventure. And I thought that during your extremely diversified studies, you at least came close to the theory of tailoring. To tell the truth, during my stay in St. Petersburg, I considered studying light engineering for some time, fascinated by the mathematical beauty of formulas needed to calculate the consumption of materials when sewing clothes on an industrial scale. Good God, that was just a joke. I didn't know you were interested in tailoring as well. Just in theory, and that won't help me repair my sleeve. Alright. At least we got camp morale up a little bit. We got a bunch of silliness going. Camp morale went down a little bit again. Everybody's doing okay, but we have lost our friend. Okay, Mordkalp, are you wanting to do your thing? Or shall I play a little longer? What do you reckon? Assuming you are still here, that is. Meanwhile, I will water our people, since we have a lot of water. And everybody needs to eat, so they can all have their burnt meat. Doesn't quite do for Alexei, who needs a little bit more. We can have a mushroom. I feel bad, let's look for herbs. Oh, that's not good. His health is good, his morale is good. And we learn more about his story. An educated man. He knows much, but he's not very practical, and he keeps talking about scurvy, which symptoms he's constantly looking for himself. So he is probably the hypochondriac that was mentioned in the title. I wonder if we can find her on an expedition. She is here, and we might be able to take 2 people and go here and see if we can free her. That would be interesting to find out. Maybe with the 2 guys. First, let's put some stuff on the fire. Bunch of pine cones. What else do we have? We have a bunch of stuff. Still have a lot of water, which we can do okay with. We have some mold. I will throw on here. Should probably dry some of those mushrooms, actually. Would make some sense. 4 out of 1. It's 1 action point still to do, so let's have her do it. So it gives me 4 dried mushrooms, that's pretty nice. We also have the psychedelic ones. Not enough resources. Oh, you can only do it with mushrooms, not with the other type. That is fair. We have eggs, which we can eat. Anything we can do with that stuff. I guess it highlights things that you can actually make, maybe. Dried mushrooms count as herb. Interesting. Herbal tea against colds and indigestion. Interesting, interesting. That's good to know. It will actually tell you whether you can make something or not. I don't know how I didn't notice that all this time, but apparently I didn't. And we also have the stuff to make a delicious stew. Only thing is we don't really need it right now. So what I think is what she can go do is gather some more brushwood, because we need that anyway. Gives us a couple of sticks, which is exactly what we need. And then she and one of the guys can go and make a snare structure. 1 piece of scrap metal, then we have the strings, and we have enough sticks finally to do that in a solid way. We'll do this in the dual fashion, so send her and him to do that. High chance to recover AP, because he can learn from her. That sounds good. That makes him happy. Nice. Now we have snares, which are good. And we can make advanced traps, which increases the chance of catching small animals in snares. What does that take? More sticks. And a lot of sharp. We don't have enough of that anyway. But it's a start. And how much does that cost? 1 AP to see if something is caught in snares placed around the camp. Well, we don't really need to do that right now, so let's just go for our expedition. You and you will go. We don't have any weapons or anything. We don't have any clothes that we can give. I don't think there's anything useful in the bundle. So we will just have to make this happen. First you go here to see... Or should we go here? Actually this is easier because it's insignificant and we don't need much food right now. Maybe. Poisonous mushrooms, stones, roots, sure. Let's see what happens here. If we can save her. When you leave the grove, quite unexpectedly, you come across a young man with a rifle busy extracting the weasel from the trap. I think he's as surprised as you are. But he's actually still a kid. You remember that he was sided with the renegades during the train robbery. The boy is aiming a gun at you, but his face is full of terror. Let's throw ourselves at him. He rushes towards the young man with a mad roar. The boy immediately abandons the weapon and hurries towards the dark taiga. What a surprise. That's nice. We actually get the gun. Nice. Helps in hunting and defense, but it takes a lot of attention. We get ammunition with it. We get a hair trap. Must be set in the groves visited by the long-eared animals in the north, east, south, and west, south. North, east, south, and west, south. Okay, they mean southeast, southwest from the camp. We get a weasel, which we have some meat. But we haven't somehow rescued her, it seems. Do we have a way of doing that? Maybe not. Or maybe next night she will have an opportunity. I would like to go here, because we need sticks and stuff. Right, so we have our deer, we have our Siberian musk deer. We could try to shoot it with a rifle. No, why not? Let's see what happens. weapon banged and the startled must deer made a run for it. However, after clumsy leaps, you see that it got hit. You quickly get to the place of shooting and find traces of blood. You follow their trail full of hope, and after a few steps you reach the fallen musk deer. It should be finished off. Without a decent weapon, this will be an unpleasant task. But for you, the most important thing is you will not be hungry for the next few days. Nice, so we got our deer also. Wait, did I take that? I did take that, right? Better have taken that. Ah shit, did I hit the wrong button? Ah, that's annoying, I hit the wrong button. I think I forgot to actually take it. It doesn't take it if you click go away. Oh well, not a big deal. Risky. We must nonetheless go here. Let's search risky or not risky. We'll get a lot of stuff, and then we will return to camp. She is tired, that's very suitable, because she can then go and rest. She has no AP left anyway, and these gentlemen can go do something useful. We can up the fire a little bit with some moss, I guess. Seems that above 60 is about good enough. We can see if we can preserve some of this meat, perhaps. Have an animal. Could roast you. Anything else we can do with you? Oh wait, maybe it's not the case. Smoked meat? Yeah, this is all just raw meat, and that's what the lady has with her. So I guess we'll just have to roast the weasel. Doesn't sound very nice. The two gentlemen do that together. Which gives us some of that. This is basically fine. Make a large water filter, but you don't have the AP for that. Is there anything else you can do? Not too sure. Well, I guess you could make snares. See what that does. Ooh, that got us a small bird, a little waxwing. That doesn't seem terribly useful, but what do I know? You have a free slot in the shelter, put your character to sleep, that's true. Might as well. How do we do this again? There is a way of doing this. I'm forgetting how you do this, it's like this. And then you and you. Yeah, roast weasel, right? That's pretty delicious stuff when you really think about it. I'm pretty sure waxwing eating is also just about as pleasant as it sounds. That's annoying because the girl, the feisty girl, has all the meat on her, but we don't seem to be able to rescue her, so I don't know what happens there. Let's talk about his hypochondria. After so many days, scurvy symptoms should be noticeable. Sleepiness and muscle aches were a prelude, and now... Oh, stop with all this moaning, Alexei. You're such a hypochondriac. Symptoms of frost are more palpable. Before you feel the effects of scorbutus, you will long be gone from starvation. Well, yes, that would be correct. Do you agree with me? No, I can see your nervousness and fatalism. This is exactly what happens with scurvy, just before effusions appear. Are you a doctor, damn it? No, but I've studied medicine for 2 years. Do you know Latin? It so happens that I know. As my uncle used to say, medice curate ipsum. This is a joke, involving very bad taste. This is no joke. With this knowledge, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you should be helping us. Let's talk about the event. We were saved from the disaster and avoided the slaughter. It's unthinkable. Do you know if anyone else has survived? The train was derailed with dynamite. Shortly afterwards, the attackers blew up one of the rear cars where the soldiers were traveling. They must have known where to hit. Then they shot the survivors without mercy. Those who have survived could hide in the woods or somewhere in the wreck. We must stay together until help arrives. We're in the middle of the Siberian taiga without appropriate clothes and food, surrounded by thugs going after us. How much longer can we survive in such conditions? 1, 2 days at the most? In that case, let's hope that help will come tomorrow. Very apt, you know. I mean, it's just a small bird. We eat quail. Yeah, true. But I mean, imagine that, like, there is actually a difference in what birds are nice to eat and which ones aren't. Isn't it the Maltese who have this reputation for, like, shooting all of the birds that fly over the island? And that, like, they get told off by the European Union because they have this national sport of, like, shooting every small bird that comes by. I wonder what they do with them, though. They actually eat them. And then there's the ortolan, right? The famous French one where you're supposedly supposed to cover your face so that God doesn't see what you're doing. The structure was covered with snow. Well, that's not good. So Mort, how are you feeling for stasis? I asked earlier, but I guess you weren't around yet, or at the time. God hates the French, and rightfully so. You know, I actually quite like the French. Yeah, I made food and ate it. But then I'm not God, right? Which is probably for the better. What did you have? Rotten food. Was it a soup or maybe goulash in normal circumstances? Oh yeah, I guess this was like what's left of the mushroom soup I made. You can tell this is easy mode because my problem is too much food rather than too little. Potato salad. Ah, that's funny, I had that yesterday. I'll be ready in 15 minutes or so. Good thing Jake is also finished. Yeah, I kind of competed with Jake on this stream, but I don't really mind doing that. I was a little inspired by him playing The Long Dark anyway. We're ready in 15 minutes. Okay, then I will keep playing until you're ready, and then just let me know and I can raid you. Just give me a message here or something. That suits me just fine. In the meantime, we gotta feed people. We gotta feed people with not rotten stuff, preferably. Oh, you can't use the rotten food for fuel. That makes some sense, I suppose. We do have to completely start the fuel cycle over again. We haven't done much with the bark, so I will try that. Let's throw a bunch of bark on it. Let's throw a bunch of moss on it. I guess these snow things really deplete your resources if you're on a harder mode, and this happens all the time. 65 is about enough. Everybody needs to eat a bunch. If one burns meat, you can have it. A bunch of bugs. Everybody can have some bugs. some more bugs. Dried mushrooms, water for you. Our man here has 2 left, the others have 3 left. By the way, I noticed accidental theming. Some stasis is also about cold, darkness, and family. Yeah, it's funny. I was a little bit... I mean, it was quasi-deliberate, because I was already thinking about this game, but it was also like, firstly, Jake was playing The Long Dark all the time, and then Barang had been playing Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, which I will also want to play at some point, or try to figure out. And so there was that kind of Soviet theme, you know, going on, and there was the cold theme going on, and I thought like, hey, this actually goes together very well, combined with the fact that it's, I don't know what it is at yours, but it was like 30 degrees today here. It's still like 28 or something even now. So it was kind of a nice irony to play all these like grim dark things when it's actually incredibly sunny and nice out. That kind of tickles me, it does. Yeah, first we must expedition Robinson, I suppose. We still don't have enough for the workshop, do we? Well, no, we don't, but we're getting there. We need some more materials. That would be good. A little bit more food to go around would also not hurt. I'm thinking we could do with an improved trap, for which we need more sticks and a whole lot more sharp. Yeah, so we just need more materials generally. So let's first set up an expedition with the usual suspects. And that expedition needs to go to where all the scrap stuff is and that kind of thing. But this is now dangerous, that's unfortunate. Because we do kind of need it. There is also scrap metal here, that is risky. I guess it depends on the position of these guard guys. If like they border the hex or hexes in question, combined with the general danger of the training hexes, that seems to increase it. Can we somehow... Oh, hang on, did it deplete it here? That's not that we have it depleted, but that the hex is depleted. That actually makes a lot more sense. So we would want to go here. And search it, even though it's risky. And then we find the scrap metal and the canvas and a bunch of bugs and combs. That's all very good. That's what we need. I still wonder if we can somehow save her with some kind of event, but that didn't seem to work last time. I'm a little worried about whether it works this time. Should I have given him the gun? Maybe. There's also more stuff over here that's safer, so let's try it. Okay, that doesn't actually do anything. Danger level deadly. Okay, maybe let's not stay here. Stinking peat bog. Yeah, that's not very good. We could check out what's over here. Plate with berries. That sounds a bit better. Speaking of Soviet, I'm joining the KPÖ. Oh, really? That's cool. I actually heard that the KPÖ did really well in the Salzburg state elections, right? Not so long ago. And they're also quite... I think they also have the mayoralty of Graz, is that right? Actually, KPÖ seemed like a really... I mean, I don't talk about politics much on the court, but it seems like a really solid party to me. I was generally speaking Die Linke voter here in Germany, but I think Die Linke are a little bit crap and disorganized. Ooh. Blueberries, says one of you, then laughs when the other begins to look around the ground. I don't mean the plants. That's what you say about forest bees. Look. Indeed, a few insects are flying slowly in the air. They seem to be flying around the cracked stump. Carefully, you look at the beehive. Most of the bees have already clumped and are planning their wintering. Maybe it's worth the risk and get some honey out. Well, it's our wilderness man doing it, so let's get the honey. Bees, however, have not been as sleepy as they might have seemed. They defend their forest house with extreme ferocity. Enriched by the new experience and solidly stung, you run away. Correct, we have some pretty good policies. We're the only party that does something about the rent crisis. Yeah, that's such a thing here as well, right? Because you probably know that in Berlin they had this referendum on like nationalizing or sort of like socializing the small number of very large real estate companies that own almost all the housing here. And the referendum passed by a good margin, but ever since the former SPD-led coalition has, or mainly the SPD itself, has tried to do everything possible to prevent its implementation. And now they have made a new coalition with the Christian Democrats here, right, the CDU, and now it's definitely never happening. And the rents in Berlin have, I think, doubled or more than doubled in 5 years or something crazy like that. It's like really, really nuts. But it's a general problem, right, everywhere. It's like everybody from our generation is basically completely out of the question that we can ever have our own place or do anything like that unless you live in a small town or your parents just happen to die at the right time, basically, right? I find it really, it's honestly one of the reasons why I still live in Berlin. I haven't gone back to the Netherlands, although I also like it here a lot. But also, like, I cannot afford the Netherlands. It's just literally impossible for me, even at a pretty decent income level. I earn well above median, and yet I still cannot afford any reasonable place in the Netherlands. It's just not going to happen. Also, all KPO members serving elected government have a maximum wage of 2,200. Everything above that gets put in a collective social fund. Which is why we had such gains in local elections. Yeah, actually, the Socialist Party in the Netherlands, which unfortunately these days has gone on a very nationalist tack and isn't as left as they used to be, but I used to support them. They have a similar policy also, because they have this kind of ex-communist background, and so they also have this policy of like you earn like a sort of set, working man's wage level essentially, and then everything above that you give to the party for a general fund. But what they do nowadays with it is mostly fund the party itself rather than social projects, which is obviously not as useful in a way, or at least not as popular. What the KPO does sounds much more sensible. And it's really nice, right? Because it also gives a visible sign of like people love accusing left people of hypocrisy, right? And saying like, oh, you're also just filling your pockets like everybody else. And if you do that kind of social fund approach, you can very visibly show that you're different from others. And I think that's, in our age when there's a lot of anti-establishment feeling, that mostly goes to the right, I think that's actually quite valuable to do that. Okay, but I haven't actually searched this place now, so we still don't know what this has. 6 berries, 2 eggs, 1 comb. I guess eggs is good. Berries is very good, because that's pretty good eating, as far as I can tell. That's not a lot of eating. But the loss probability is getting pretty high, so we should probably start heading back. 51%, expedition AP needed 0 to 2, well, we have more than 2. So we could quickly search this also. Costs us 1 AP, we get a bunch of cones, some roots, some other stuff, generic stuff. And then we will go back to camp. Quite, yeah. I mean, I'm very, most of my politics stuff I do on Twitter and other places. Like I have a couple of places where I do a lot of politics talking. So when I'm like on the J Court or other kind of communities like that, I try to really steer away from that stuff unless it happens to come up. I will occasionally say something, but I guess on my own stream I can do whatever I want. It's definitely going to be interesting when, it already happened a bit when Baron was playing Workers and Resources. Like inevitably people will start giving their opinion about the Soviet Union and all that stuff. Can't really avoid that. But, that's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. What do we have left? Actually quite a lot. We have quite a bit of water. We have some other stuff. Question is, can we build something that's useful? Are these guys injured from the... Yeah, they have a bit of injury from the bees, I guess. Did we get any honey? We did not get any honey. Also, I should remember to give the gun to them on the expedition, I think. Do we have enough for this? We do. Do we have enough for this? Yes. Do we have... No, wait, actually we don't. Wood. And will this do? Is this allowed? Yes, this is allowed. Nice, so we can finally make this workbench, which I think will really upgrade our capabilities quite a bit. We'll have her do it. She could also do it by herself, but she likes working with others, so she can work with our spy who likes doing that also. That makes them happy, makes them tired, costs them AP, she regains some wood. What you like to see. And then you get a flaying point where you can start skinning your game. So you can actually have meat instead of like just outright roasting your birds and all that stuff. You need more stuff for that. A hardened table that unlocks the actions of producing simple weapons. Right, so it's clear you need to like really get into this stage and you can equip yourself with tools, and only then do you have any reasonable chance of ever getting out of here, I assume. You have a well-equipped workshop. Metal workshop for an axe and snowshoes, a sack, that sounds good. Yeah, so you want to have a lot of materials, a lot of structure stuff. We are lacking in sharps. For the hardened table, we have need of you, but then we need more stones. We need anyway more stones. Yeah, okay, so we mostly need stones and sharp stuff and so on, and we can do more equipment there, and we need a bit more string and such for you. Yeah, that's a nice goal to have. What else can we do? Probably do some cooking. Smoke something. Fish, meat, mushrooms. 2 mushrooms that we could do. One person, maybe you. So that will keep them. And then can we... make fruit tea? Make scrambled eggs? No, we don't have a lard. It's very... classy, actually, cooking your scrambled eggs in lard. Sounds pretty nice. And roast an animal. Burnt meat. Let's roast our bird, maybe? You two can do that. Everything is better than working with you. Yeah, they really do not get along so well. But that is not my problem. Then we have our roast meat. And our man here is tired. So he can rest. I mean. You and... I guess I might as well send someone else to rest. You. And then Alexei Rabinovich can contemplate his many failings. Lights, oh yeah, cool. I think next time I play this, I'll play this on normal mode and not on easy mode. Because it seems relatively easy now that I've gotten the hang of things. Do you think they'll come back? Who? The bandits? Are you afraid? No, I'm just thinking what I would do to them if I had my loyal Betty with me. A woman is supposed to defend you. This is my shotgun, a loyal companion from the African savannah. Unfortunately, I carried it in my luggage. Wait, what if my chest has survived? Looking for Betty is too risky. When we get to Vladivostok, you will find a new companion. Katya, Sonia, or maybe even some Akita. I'm just choosing things that seem in character, right? The diary. You are scribbling in that notebook again. Well, yes, of course, my dear lady. I have neglected writing the diary since I graduated from rugby. Well, except maybe for 3 days. During the first of them, I was in captivity among Ugandan headhunters. I cannot speak about the second and third because of my military oath. Do current circumstances not release you from your vow of silence? Maybe you will please us with your fascinating secret? This is a secret that we don't share, ma'am. And our situation, believe me, is not so tragic yet. At least not enough to stop you from writing these boring things. That's right. Please treat my diary as miners treat canaries in the mine. When you see that I didn't write down a note one evening, it surely means that I'm 1 foot in the grave. Also, if it turns out that we can't survive this adventure, my diary may become a warning to others. For these bandits? If they even can read. However, such grim thoughts will not help us survive. Please forgive me, but from what I see, you look after your beauty so insistently in this remote area. I'm not criticizing it. I admire it that you want to keep what's left of normality in this madness. If you didn't do your hair one morning, I would start thinking gloomy thoughts. Yes, that made everybody like each other more and morale less as before. Everybody's still doing okay. You can clearly see what a ramp up in difficulty normal mode is, though, because in normal mode they have a morale check on 2 statuses, or at least I think it's, or at least they get an AP penalty, possibly a morale check involved with that AP penalty. I don't know if that's certain or whether that's specifically if they fail the morale test. I think it is when they fail the morale test, but I'm not entirely sure. But either way, like, that's pretty much always the case, right? So it's very hard to prevent downward spirals then, whereas right now that's actually rather easy. Oh, how starved we are. Speaking of starved, how's it going, Mord? How are you feeling about it? Like, I'm happy to keep going, but I also don't want to, you know, overrule my promises, as it were. Let's feed them mushrooms. Where's our water? Here's our water. 1, 2, 3. Do they regain health? They don't automatically regain health. Very well. Ooh, a lot of stuff goes off. That's not good. Hunger cost will decrease. It's good bait. There. I'm fiddling around with silent settings. Okay, yeah, no worries. Just let me go. Just want to make sure that I don't, you know, just miss it. Because I did promise, and I like to keep my promises. That's all. Wait. Oh yeah, what we needed was more sharp stuff, right? And in the metal workshop we need sharps that we don't have, and we need materials that we do have. Structures we have, wood we have, so we mostly need sharp stuff. We could do with more stones. Let's have an expedition. She's still like stuck there. I haven't seen her in ages, or maybe she's just considered to be permanently lost or something. We also have to send Sir Edward to go and grab his things, so that might actually come together very nicely. There isn't much scrap metal here anymore, but there is here. That is risky. There are stones here, not very many. I guess we'll just have to try it with our intrepid group. And we should also give them the gun and the hair wrap. But something tells me that might turn out to be useful. I wonder if depleted means you can't get it at all. I suspect that that's the case, but could go like this, that. Seems kind of dangerous, but this is also dangerous. A little less dangerous. Let's search you. You do get some scrap metal from here. And a whole bunch of canvas, which is very good material. And we shall go to the train. We shall search the train. Oh, that gives me an event. Unexpectedly, a swarm of nasty flies encircles you, biting severely any exposed part of the body. Even when you were traveling by train, you heard warnings of the taiga people about such a swarm, but apparently at this time of year bugs should not breed anymore. Well, these flies apparently don't know the calendar. You run away as fast as you can. Okay, so that doesn't get me anything. Let's go for the gun in that case. The car in which Sir Edward was riding did not get damaged much during the disaster. Who knows, maybe the chest with Betty is still standing intact on the shelf under the ceiling. There are two entrances to the Englishman's compartment, one from the corridor and one leading from the outside. The corridor is quite exposed, and crossing it can attract the attention of the renegades. But the door leading directly to the compartment is on the south side, and to get to it you would have to circle the car with a wide berth. Well, let's take the risk. You reach the car trying to leave as few footprints in the snow as possible. The entrance door is partially broken and the frozen corpse of one of the passengers welcomes you immediately. Well, you can't help him anymore. You walk around the body and crouch down the corridor up to compartment number 3. Several torn chests and bundles are scattered in Sir Edward's compartment. The thugs had to look through all luggage before... The oblong case in which Betty travelled lies open under the window, and there inside a broken Russian Mosin. They probably didn't expect it in the camp, but you have to take what is there and evacuate before you get the attention of the renegades. You also tear the curtain and a piece of upholstery off, because they will definitely be useful for the construction of the shelter. So we get a broken rifle that we need the workshop for, a couple of rags, a piece of canvas. It's not that useful given that we have a gun, but mainly I need stones and things of that nature. Dangerous. Alright, I'm ready. Starting out with a few rounds of geotastic as usual. Okay, then I will go back to camp and wrap it up here, and then I will raid you. And raiding is just like /raid your name, right? In my own chat, I guess. Hop directly? No, you can. I'll try it one more time here. There we go. Lots of stones, lots of metal, lots of clay. That's all we want to see. Now we can return to camp. Perfect. Alright, in that case I will call it here so that I can fulfill my promise of raiding Mordgau. Guess there isn't actually a save game mode or option. I suppose it is one of those auto-save things. Because there is a certain profile that this is associated with. Okay, so in that case that will be that. And then I will go and do a raid. And thanks everybody for hanging out.